Hello everyone, I'm Griffin and we are back with another reaction video. This one is a clip from the whatever podcast, and this one is titled "Is Abortion Morally Incorrect?" Heated debate. Now, I do have my own opinion on abortion. It's Before this video starts, I'll tell you my opinion on abortion. You can hate me for it or whatever, but this is my opinion, it's how I feel. When it comes to the topic of abortion, if it's from incest, sexual assault, or anything that was forced upon the woman, if she wants to get an abortion, by all means, go ahead and do it. Or if it threatens the life of the woman that is carrying the child, then by all means, go ahead and do it. I got no problem with, morally I got a problem with it, but it's your choice. Go ahead and do it. Now, if it is an accident, or if you're in a relationship with the guy and you two get into it, and it like protection breaks, or you become pregnant through an accident, or if you're trying for a child and you somehow decide you don't want it anymore, if it's something like that, I think the least the woman can do is talk to her significant other. That is the absolute least you can do, is talk to your significant other. And if by the end of it you still decide that you want to get it, the least you can do is inform him, and he will probably he will respect you more for making that decision than if you didn't talk to him at all and you just went and did it without his knowledge. Because at the end of the day, he still helped you make that life that is within your body. Because without the man, it could not happen. So the least you could do is talk to him and have a discussion with him before making the decision to go have an abortion. Now, like I said, if it's through any sort of forced means, or if it threatens your life, go right ahead, go ahead and have it. But if it was through an accident, or you suddenly decide you don't want to have a child anymore and you're already pregnant, the least you can do is have a discussion with your significant other before deciding to do it. And if at the end of the day, like I said, if at the end of the day you still decide to do it, you should at least let him know that you're still deciding to do it, and he will respect you more for deciding that than if you did not have a discussion, you just did it without his knowledge. Because if you do that, I guarantee you he will be very upset. Or, in the chance of the accident, he might be happy. I don't know. But more often than not, he will be upset. But that's my opinion on it. I'm not against it, because it has its benefits. It's just, I have my own opinion on it. But let's get into the video.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade, this isn't just a male-dominated thing.
All right, he said Roe v. Wade. Here's the thing about Roe v. Wade. Yes, it was overturned. That doesn't mean that you are not allowed to get an abortion anymore. What that means is the decision for an abortion is left up to the state. That doesn't mean abortion is illegal and you're no longer able to get it. That just means the decision for making abortion legal or not up to the state itself. It's no longer up to the federal level to decide. It's up to the state level to decide. You're still able to get an abortion as long as it is legal within the state you live in. That's the thing with Roe v. Wade. It made it federally legal for all states, whether they wanted it or not. As soon as it was overturned, it was at that point up to the state to decide, and not the federal. So as long as the state says it's still legal, you are still able to get the abortion.
Okay, Amy Coney Barrett also voted to overturn it. Okay,
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That is
Those
she
are
the
religious women.
patriarchy?
Okay, but here's the thing: is that you
somebody what they have to do with their body. You can't tell me that I need to go have a kid right now if I get pregnant. Like, you cannot tell me what to do with my body medically. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I simply don't.
Okay, and I don't think
This is going to get heated.
I don't think that a woman has the right to the child that she chose to create through sex.
Okay,
But
maybe
what
we
if she
shouldn't
was
be talking
raised
about this. Maybe
Yes.
this
No.
Yes.
What if she was because she had no
That's-
choice in that?
That's a good question. That's
Go
less
back
than
to the patriarchy.
Hold on, everybody. This is an important question. That's a really important question. Okay, that is less than 1% of abortions. 95% of abortions are abortions of convenience, and what that means is women had consensual sex, and they decided after the fact that they just didn't want to keep the child. Okay, that's different. And in cases like that, this isn't somebody forcing a woman to have a child.
Yes, it is. That
this
is
is a
literally
woman-
what it is.
No. Sex has consequences, and when you have sex, you are risking the possibility of conceiving a child. Are you not?
I
So-
agree with that, but I
He looks so uncomfortable. but yes, what he says is true. Statistically, about 95% of them is of convenience. These women are knowingly having sex, and men as well, are knowingly having sex, knowing the risk that they can and more than likely will get pregnant if they are not taking any sort of contraceptives or having the person they're having sex with wear any sort of protection. If they're not doing any one of those two things, if they're not doing possibly both of those, you should be doing both of those things if you don't want a kid. Because 99.9% of the time you won't have a kid if you're taking both contraceptives and using protection. But if they're not doing either one of those things, they're knowingly risking having a child. And then once they say, "Oh no, I'm pregnant," well, dumbass, you had sex without any sort of protection. You're going to get pregnant. They go to an abortion clinic and have an abortion. An abortion out of convenience. Now, like you said, less than 1% of those abortions are from sexual assault and, some sort of forced way of, intercourse. But like I said in the beginning, if it's part of that, then if they want an abortion, by all means, I go right ahead, do it.
you cannot force somebody to do something with that is the main point of this. You cannot force somebody to do something with their body that they do not want to do.
Okay.
I don't know how much we want to talk about an issue just because it's very
I think it's a fruitful discussion. I think this is an important discussion.
I think it is
I think this
important.
is extremely important.
I'll just give my take. I don't want to give my take.
No,
No,
I
give
think
your
you
take.
should.
We want to hear your take, Brian.
So
Oh, they're forcing him now.
okay, it's a kind of nuanced take though. It's going to take me at least 2 minutes to explain it.
We would love to hear it.
Okay, so the arguments of people who are pro-life are not so easily dismissed. However, I would say that I'm probably going to lose some viewers, whatever I say. I would say I'm pro-choice, but I would say that just is clearly wrong. It's clearly wrong, but not everything that is wrong should be illegal. So, and this is kind of where I get into crazy territory. I think that we should be, and this is, I think, maybe me running the center too much. We need to develop an artificial womb. That way both sides can be happy. If a woman wants to get an artificial womb, so y'all can, if you want to, you can get it, but the baby can survive. That is the compromise I think is fair. And I also think we should have, honestly, I think we should have free birth control. I think we should have robust sexual education. And I think people should stop around so much. That's what I think.
That's
Wait,
weird.
hold on.
I have a question.
People need to take accountability for their actions. Straight up. Right there. Take
Amen.
accountability
Amen.
for your actions.
Our Earth is currently, I think it's pretty overpopulated at the moment. I mean, we have over 7 billion people on this Earth. We don't have very many resources. our resources are very finite until we can start, cultivating stuff outside of our own planet. I think we're pretty overpopulated. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure about the world economics.
Also, I guess in a way I would say I'm pro-choice because, like, look, you guys want to keep your bloodline off and totally, like, knock off any of your, any personal responsibility, you can go for it. But it's wrong. Like, there's no way that you can morally say, like, if you were to let that kid grow up, like, in your womb, it's going to pop out, and in 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, it'd be sitting across the table just like we are. It's wrong. If you guys want to go do that, that's your prerogative. But there's no getting away from it that that's wrong, that's a human being, and that people should take responsibility for their actions.
I
have a
respect that you
question.
think that,
I'm
but
gonna run
I
the
respect
center.
that you also respect people's choice.
I think that it's wrong, but people are gonna make
I
their
want
own decisions.
to just run the center a little bit here. I think what I don't like to see. I know you want to. I don't like to see either side straw manning the other side. I think the pro-choice side makes a bodily autonomy argument, and then the pro-life side, the thing that you're going to, the argument that you're going to have to make to convince pro-lifers to be pro-choice is you're going to have to convince them that upon conception, that's not a life. You're going to have to, because they genuinely think that it is a life at conception. They think that that's a life worth protecting, and they believe it's murder. So you're going to have to convince them that it's not murder. That's the challenge you're up against. It's not about controlling women's bodies. It's not even a religious thing, because there's many atheists who are pro-life. So I'm just trying to run center here. That is what you're up against when you're talking to someone who's pro-life. These guys can make arguments that aren't based in religion.
Okay.
For-
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I also have something I want to say too. You can go first, but I just want to make it known I have something I need to say about this. Please go ahead.
Okay, it's just frustrating that you keep on interrupting people. But
I've been interrupted.
I was gonna say, like, I do think, like, whatever. Like, I think that it could be argued that it's a life. Like, technically, it's zygotes, and, like, I don't know. Like, when you masturbate, you're babies.
No,
It's a bit
that's not
different.
I believe
It is a bit
Very different.
it's like they're not like sentient yet. Like, I don't know. It argues like
It's a good point.
that's not the argument.
good
But
point.
basically, I'm just trying to say, like, I respect people's religions, but I don't think that, like, religious people, just because they have a religion, I don't think that gives them the right to, like, tell people to, like, make rules based on this religion. Like,
Okay.
it's not uniform, you know?
You're right. And I completely agree with that as a Christian. Okay, and a big part of this discussion for me isn't like pushing my Christian beliefs on the rest of society. Obviously, there's a motivation there as a Christian because of what I believe and what Brian was saying about life at conception. Part of this, though, is about the physical pain that's caused to unborn children in second and third trimester abortions.
I agree that I don't think that abortions should. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Those also account for a very low percentage of abortions. though.
you're right.
It's the same argument that you made when you were like 95% are not cases. You can apply that to this as well. So I don't think that that's an argument we should discuss.
Wrong, because you said you don't have the right to tell people what to do with their bodies. And there's a lot of people in this country who believe I should be able to have abortions all the way up until, the day of delivering the child. Okay?
Even post
I don't think so. Most of the reason that
There-
people get
no, this
abortions
is-
is
there's-
because they don't want to go through
There's
pregnancy.
laws being passed in the country to legalize this. This has already been legalized in different states, okay? And so for me, part of this discussion, I use that example of late-term abortions because part of this discussion is you're saying women say it's my body, it's my choice. You have no right to tell me what to do with my body.
Someone get London.
Women say it's my body, my choice. You have no right to say what women do with their body, right? Okay. I also don't think anybody has the right to harm an unborn child, to do anything like that. And that child, that being, doesn't have a say in this conversation. And this country specifically was founded to secure life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for every American. But we're not doing that for Americans in the womb. Everybody's just saying that they're not people. People were pressuring my mom to have her abort me because she conceived me out of wedlock and I wasn't going to have a dad in my life. They pressured my mom to abort me. I never never had a say in the conversation. Thankfully, she kept me, but if she had aborted me, I wouldn't be here. And I'm a person, right? Like, who's speaking up for these unborn kids? No, nobody. Everybody. You guys just look at them like they're not even people.
A lot of people are, because Roe v. Wade just got overturned. So I think a lot of people are speaking up for them.
Yes, we all are.
Yeah.
But you guys think that you guys just have the right to do whatever you want to these unborn people, and I think that's wrong.
I feel like I have the right to do anything I want to my body.
But do you have the right to do anything you want to another person's body?
I don't believe it's another person's body if it's living inside me.
Why?
Because it's inside. I think it's kind of like a parasite. It's literally growing off of me.
What about you
Think it's
taking
a
responsibility for like what you did?
Yes.
For what?
If you
Like, how about that?
consensually
Because I
have
had sex?
you chose to create a human being. It's not a parasite. It's a human being.
Okay, wait.
This woman just doesn't seem to really get it. She seems to think that just because she has sex, she doesn't have to take responsibility for the life that is growing inside of her. And yes, technically it would be considered a parasite until it's grown into a sentient being, but if you have sex without any sort of protection whatsoever, like I said before, you are more than likely going to become pregnant. And you need to take responsibility for the dumbass decision you made if you didn't intend to become pregnant. People don't like to take responsibility for the consequences that they created themselves. It's fucking dumb.
Wait, I would like to ask you a question, Chase, just out of curiosity. So you mentioned and you shared, and thank you for sharing, that like your mother was pressured to get an abortion, correct? And you were happy, you grew up happy. From what I've seen, or just what you told me. What about the millions of kids who are born and have no family, thrown into the system, grown up in dangerous situations? Do you think that, just out of curiosity, I'm not saying like whether I agree or disagree, but like, do you think that they should still be brought into this world if they're put in dangerous situations?
It's a good question. It's a complex question, obviously. What I know is that there's a lot of people in America who want to adopt kids, and it's often very difficult and very expensive to adopt kids because of, I don't know, whatever fucked up system we have created here. What would be most ideal would be for those kids to be able to be easily adopted by families that love them, that want to put them in a good situation. And I don't think, this is a point that a lot of my Christian friends make, I don't think two wrongs make a right. Like, there's a lot of kids that are born into quote-unquote dangerous situations.
He's purposely staying away from this entire conversation. I don't blame him, because the conversation of abortion is very, very uncomfortable, because nobody can come to a middle ground in this. Everybody thinks that what they think is right and what other people think is wrong. Nobody can come to an official middle ground in this discussion with abortion. Now, whether you think it's wrong or not, morally, yes, it is wrong to take a life. When it becomes a sentient life, morally it is wrong to take it. Because, in my opinion, nobody, man, woman, child, no authority on this earth has the right to decide whether or not another human life should end. Nobody has the right to take a life. No one. But that's just what I think. But I think sooner or later we're going to have to come to a middle ground on this abortion thing. We're going to have to. Because this argument going back and forth in the past, decades, however long this abortion discussion has been going on, it needs to come to a middle ground, needs to end.
Flourishing in life, and they live very healthy, successful lives against all the odds. You know what I'm saying? And to just like discount all those kids and say, oh, there's no way that they could live a healthy, happy life. Like, I think that's wrong. And I think that yeah, we should make it easier to adopt kids, because there's a lot of kids in this country who, are born into shitty situations that could probably have better situations, and there's barriers to it.
So do you support putting funding into programs that will make the system better and make it more safe? Like supporting
Absolutely.
foster
We
care,
spend
for example.
we spend hundreds of billions of dollars a year on the dumbest, most useless shit. We've sent Ukraine like what, $60 billion north of that. We've sent another country so much money when we have kids here in America who are starving, who are below the poverty line, who aren't in good situations. I think that
He's coming back in. He looks so uncomfortable.
we printed trillions and trillions of dollars over the past couple of years. If we're talking about where to put our money in America, I think if we're going to build a pro-life country, like, we should be looking at the kids who need it most.
Yeah, Americans should eat first, and we should take care of it.
No, what he's saying about America, I totally agree with. Before we decide to help other countries, we should make sure that everything within our own country is taken care of and good to go. Because we have many things wrong with our country, many things wrong with our country that need to be taken care of first before we decide to help other countries. Our economy's going down to shit. Our healthcare system is complete fucking shit. People are, rationing their medications when they shouldn't have to. Just everything. We need to take care of our own before we try and take care of somebody else. We need to. And yet we don't. We keep sending billions of dollars to other countries when we clearly need that ourselves. Anyways, that was the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I do have a streaming channel over on Twitch, and I have other social medias and a Discord that you can all check out. Links to all of them are in the description below. If there are any other videos you'd like to see me react to, music you'd like to see me react to as well, please make sure to comment them down below, and I will get to them as soon as I can. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.